Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye
Sound Candy Talk Live News. You are watching Sound Candy Talk Live. You are watching Sound Candy Talk Live.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another amazing episode, another amazing moment. The principle remains Kamakawa Kamadawa. I want to welcome you for today's evening, for this moment, because every time and every minute and every hour you are being the part and parcel of this. So I welcome you with an humble heart and with an open heart. Welcome to the show. The link to join the show is in the comment section. Please use it to join up the show so that we can have the conversation today. And today we're having another conversation. Okay, is it a tricky conversation somehow? But we will get to understand what is happening or what is not happening. Please just tell me where you're getting me from, and also share the video so that we can have a good number of likes. But before we still with other people to join, and also still other people from diaspora and from every part of Kenya and every part of the world to join up, and we can have the discussion. And today on updates of the day, we have a lot that has happened. One of the things that has happened, or one of the day break out today, is all about the story about Gachagua saying that Ruto alimudanganya akamwapea uongo kama vile anawapea uongo pia. So she never believed in Ruto, but alimdanganya. Alikuja na Biblia akasema mwadhani agoswe. He believed that he is a Christian, yet he is not a Christian. So that's how Gachagua has brought it out. And apart from Gachagua bringing it out like that, we have seen other part whereby he's saying that he's still using the same strategy to come back to Mount Kenya. This is done while Gachagua is trying to criticize the visit of President Ruto towards Mount Kenya region. And apart from that one, we also see other part also whereby we have seen other political leaders speaking all about what's that, because also Kindiki has been there where they are saying that Kindiki is walking or is head like John the Baptist, the way John the Baptist was head during the time of Jesus, preparing the way for Jesus. So they're saying Kindiki this week is creating the way for the president to come and visit Mount Kenya region this week. So also that's also one of the updates of the day. Another update of the day is all about the other story of Raila Odinga, which is also one of the political front today that is being also getting to raise up the issue. So today on the political front, we have a lot on our desk, which we'll be checking out. Apart from that one, also another update is that Maraga wants to vie for the president 2027. Do you feel Maraga is able to vie for the president? I want to hear from you. I want to hear from your comment. Please invite somebody to join and invite somebody to watch with, to just watch alone. Keep watching, because Sound Candy Talk is the home of everyone and is a place for everyone to be and everyone to stay.
Unatazama Sound Candy Talk Live.
Welcome back for the amazing episode and for the amazing moment. Tonight we are having an amazing drive. Other people will be joining me up at the studio, but what I want to remind you is the link to join up the studio on the comment section. You use it and come up the studio so that we can have a conversation together as we are rolling up towards the commitment of the show. So every person that is in Kenya, you have part and parcel of this. But before we go, I do a lot of things. As my trend is, the show is divided into 2 or into 3 portions, whereby we'll be checking out the updates of the day, then come to the subject of the day, and then the debate forum. And please don't forget that today we are here for just only few minutes. So don't wait until it's late, then you come complaining that we didn't allow you to come and speak. So this is the time for those who want to speak, for those who want to be part and parcel of this. Please come as early as possible. I must see you, because my payment your best. That's how Gen Z says always. Okay, my co-pilot reminds me of the poll question. I always forgot about the poll question, but today let us remember about the poll question. He says, "Is is Gachagua new party Is Gachagua bringing the new party about the majority politics shift in Kenya? Okay, do you think Gachagua will bring the politics shift in Kenya with the standing with what wengi wamesema kwamba 22% says no, while 78% says yes? I want to hear your opinion too, and also you can comment your opinion to the comment section, and it will be good, and I'll appreciate so much. So let us come to the updates of the day, whereby there's a lot happening and there's a lot has happened today. And what of the day, the day breakout of what has happened today is that the things that are happening right now that we normally see happens, we have been silent for sometimes, but today we are here to speak them, and we are here to show you. For those who didn't get a chance to watch out the news, for those who didn't get up to the chance to be able to participate towards this, I want to check out this, because this is a lot of things that have been happening. But today, first of all, I want to bring up the story of one lady who was now is now being the lady called Mara. It's now being he was taken to court today, and this is the update of the day, because many people have been following about the story due to that he was arrested and he was supposed to be killed, but the Kenyan government or Kenyan law say that their people are not supposed to be killed, but they are supposed to be arrested. So also that's one of the updates of the day. We'll be checking towards more details towards that. But what I want to ask you, Kenyans, please join up the show so that we can spice it up and we can have one conversation. For those on the comment section, please just tell me hi on the comment section and I'll be happy, and tell me where you are watching from. And if you are a Kenyan, please tell me I am a real Kenyan and I'm a patriotic Kenyan. For those who are watching us on Sound Candy Talk Facebook, I want to remind you that we are live on Facebook, Sound Candy Talk. So please let us go, keep on watching, and let us keep on moving on swiftly, because we are here to stay. We are not here to live either, and we are here to make up. So team YouTube, just tell me where you are watching from, and it be good. Niambie tu kwa comment section unatazama ukiwa wapi. Na itakuwa vyema sana. So I want to take you with the update of the day. Let us begin the story about Mura, and then we'll be moving on swiftly. So don't go away. Stay tuned and watch all of this.
And prosecution of those responsible for the killing of a 17-year-old girl in Habaswein, Wajir County. The teenage girl was killed and her body set on fire for refusing to forcibly be married off to a 55-year-old man. Ode Francis has the details.
National Gender and Equality Commission and the Law Society of Kenya have condemned the murder of 17-year-old Raila Odinga Abdi, whose body was burned beyond recognition in Wajir County for resisting a forced marriage to a 55-year-old man. The incident has sparked outrage and anger in the public sphere, with Kenyans calling for justice for the victim and decisive action against perpetrators. The National Gender and Equality Commission (GEC) taking note of the circumstances of the death of the minor, noting that she was subjected to severe abuse, ultimately killed, and her body burnt beyond recognition. GEC, which called for a thorough and swift investigations into the murder, terming it a flagrant violation of the teenagers' rights, which encompasses child rights, women's rights, and the rights of refugees. The Gender Commission pointing out that Raila was entitled to protection from forced marriage and abuse under Kenyan law and international conventions. LSK condemned the act, saying it was a violation of the Children's Act and that it would hold brief to ensure that once the investigation is done and charges are preferred, justice is upheld for the life that was lost.
Inhumane treatment that she was given is a violation of our constitution and our human rights, and therefore the National Police Service should move swiftly, have all the parties involved apart from the husband. Each and every party that was involved should be arrested and investigations carried out, and all perpetrators must be held to book as an example that this should never happen again in our soil.
17-year-old Raila Odinga Abdi was murdered after she rejected a 55-year-old man she had been forcibly married to. She had been ferried from the Dagale refugee camp at night 150 kilometers away to Wara at the Masajida in Habaswein, a remote village, to meet her husband for the first time. Her rejection, despite coercion from the man's relatives, led to her death, but she reportedly made a call Saturday night disclosing plans for her death and naming those who orchestrated it. A post-mortem examination report revealed her body had sustained 100% burn, indicating the use of an open flame. Hashtags such as Justice for Raila and Stop Femicide have gone viral on social media, with users demanding justice and swift measures to combat gender-based violence. The victim's body has been preserved for further examination as investigators continue to gather evidence about the events that led to her death. Ode Francis, Citizen TV.
That's how things are on the ground. That's how things are happening today, or happens on it. So that's so bad, and we don't advocate for that. Let the government do its own. It's so sad if a lady can be banned up beyond recognition due to that he has refused to get married to one old Baba. So wababa mmeamua tu leo ni wasichana wadogo ambao mmetaka na mtaki michezo, hakuna kurudi nyuma. So please let us be careful all about that, and let us condemn such like behaviors. They are not allowed even either, nor never make sure your kids never get into such a deeds, because indeed they are so bad. And forcing some making marrying off your daughter forcefully without her concern, without her feelings, without caring or anything else. What you care is all about your benefits. Please let us be very, very careful with the lives of our kids, because kukaa na mtu when you are getting married, meaning that you will stay with this person the rest of your life. That is too much, living with somebody older than to be your grandfather as your husband. Atakuambukiza uzee mapema while you are still a young girl, needs to explore, needs to get to know more details, or to get to know more the world, to get to know Waziri who is sitting beside me laughing. That's to me, that's serious. So let us have a good communication. Tuache kuforce wasichana walewa na wababa, although wasichana wenyewe wanapenda wababa, but let us try to maintain and have a good picture. Okay, as we pass all that, let us check out this. Also, this is so sad and it's also bad news. That's one I want to also check this out.
The director of Trustmin Travel Agency will spend the night in police custody until Friday, when she will get to know what lies ahead for her. Emily Law Court ordered the suspect be detained for further investigations into allegations of swindling Kenyans millions of shillings under the guise of securing them jobs overseas. And as this happened, more victims have presented themselves at Central Police Station with damning evidence on how they were duped by the agency. Franklin Ola now reports that the police are insisting they're investigating several rogue agencies facing similar allegations.
Working in a hotel, sawa sawa. So if you're interested, kindly, I am begging you in the name of God, come to the office. Njoo kwa ofisi. I cannot manage to respond to all these questions kwa simu.
As news of how Maria Kamunge alias Rishi Kamunge swindled several victims of millions of shillings with the promises of securing jobs abroad spread across the country, more victims came forward with similar accusations against Trustpin Travel Agency. This lady traveled all the way to Nairobi hoping to meet Maria Kamunge and at least secure a refund of money she paid to her company. Unfortunately, she found the offices closed moments after police had made an arrest of the suspect.
I have already paid 100,000. We see if they can refund the money. Even if it's not the whole amount of money, we are at least like 50% of the money comes back. So that is what I was hoping. But unfortunately now, you see they have closed.
As she tried her luck at the company's head office along Moi Avenue in Nairobi, more victims were presenting themselves to the police at Central Police Station with damning evidence against Rishi Kamunge.
Mimi nikalipa 240,000 na yote ilikuwa inatakikana nilipe 350,000. Tukakuja hapa. Tulipokuja hapa tukachukua ombi, tukaenda huko juu. Tukaambiwa tuende huko juu kwa maandishi yao, tukaandikisha statement, wakatuitisha kila mtu 10,000. Hiyo sio siri. Na mtu afadhali akufe akipigania haki yake, tafadhali. Msikuwe mnaogopa.
Toa pesa ya flight of which nikiinclude zote zinakuja 192,000 of which ni mimi nisha travel hadi Mauritius yenyewe na kuna sikuweza kuaccess kwenda pande ile ingine.
Police say they have recorded statements from at least 20 complainants against Kamunge's Trustpin Travel Agency. In their statements, they were conned a total of 5 million shillings.
Tunadiscouragewa na maafisa wenye wako hapa, of which mimi nashindwa na ni serikali wanafaa kutusaidia. Kwa nini wanatudemolish namna hiyo?
Investigators have started an operation targeting such agencies which have conned Kenyans through this modus operandi. Police arrested Maxwell Nyabosero on Thursday evening. He is said to have duped at least 15 Kenyans with a promise of offering them jobs abroad in this syndicate through his company, Model International Company, which has offices in Nairobi. Victims say they were conned 3 million shillings. Maxwell was hiding in Kisii County. Nairobi DCI boss Benson Kasioki says those who have fallen victims to such dubious and fraudulent schemes should present their case to the police. Kasioki revealing they are investigating several other agencies and companies that have faced similar accusations. For the second day, the victims who were allegedly swindled money by Traspin travel agents have pitched camp at the police station, seeking intervention of the police, even as more victims of the overseas job scam emerge. Franklin Wala, Citizen TV.
That's also another scam that was done also, as I've been having a lot of complaints since yesterday. It is so bad because I want to ile kubebwa na bebewa na ile kunyolewa na nyolewa. It's alarming. The agencies I say unagongewa na sio mlango. Now hii ni kunyang'anywa pesa in the name of that you are being given a job to go to work in the diaspora. So let us be careful. Let us continue being watch outful. Okay, the link to join up the studios on the comment section. I will have one more update and then we'll go to the conversation. On the other side, I think Douglas will be joining us, Waziri himself, and also other people will be joining us from the other corners of the world. But before we go to that, let me bring up the last update of the day. There are a lot of updates of the day, but today I will not do them all. But tomorrow I maybe do some also. But let us check out this. Okay, let's check out the mathematics. Watu wapendi hesabu lakini ni sawa tu. Najua mpendi hesabu lakini mtanisamea. Wacha tufanye hesabu kidogo and God will bless us as we doing mathematics, because it's one of the subjects that many people hate so much. Lakini mimi nawapenda kwa sababu nyinyi mnajua kuhesabu pesa. So usikia inanga sio mathematics, pesa ni pesa. Maybe sir. Okay, let us check out the data analysis point of the day, and then we go to the conversation.
It's time for data point, and the Central Bank of Kenya, of course, releases a bulletin every other Friday. Now, based on the latest numbers, I want us to reflect on what has been happening to the state of the economy in the country. And first of all, we're talking about the Forex Reserve, which you will see that in March 2023, which is nearly 2 years ago, actually it is 2 years ago, the country had Forex reserves of $6.5 billion in terms of reserves. That's an import cover of just 3.6 months. The requirement in the country is to have 4 months, at least 4 months of import cover, meaning that these are dollars that are sufficient to import the country's demands from outside the country, obviously. In March 2024, that improved slightly to $7 billion, which is equivalent to 3.7 months. But now in 2025, that has gone up to $10 billion, equivalent to 5.1 months in March 2025. This is, again, is the highest it has been in a very long time. Let's focus on the next one, which talks about what has been happening to the exchange rates. And you're looking at one of the major currencies, the Kenya shilling against the dollar. In March 2023, the exchange rate was 130 shillings and 99 cents to the dollar. A year later, which is in March 2024, it was at 133.07 shillings. It is now slightly lower at 129.38 shillings. But you recall that there is a time in this country that the exchange rate was nearly 160 and sometimes even higher. Let's talk about the treasury bills. This is the short-term borrowing that the government will do to sort out some of its cash flow challenges or needs. The interest rates have been moving. In March 2023, which is 2 years ago, the treasury bills, so the color in looks like blue, could be turquoise blue. That is 91-day treasury bill. It was 9.8% in March 2023. March 2024, which is a year ago, was at 16.7%. It has now gone down to 8.8%. You can see that's almost half of what it was a year ago. If you have to look at the 182-day treasury bill, it was 10.3% in March 2023, went up to 16.9% in March 2024, and now it's down to 9% for the 364-day treasury bill. from 10.7 to 16.9 a year ago to now 10.4%. You can see clearly that they have been going down in some of the policies that have come from the Central Bank of Kenya, from that monetary policy committee that has been working on different factors. Let's take a look at the next slide, which will explain what exactly has been happening. Again, the interest rates for Treasury bills, the 91-day, you'll see in June 2024, which was, you recall, there was that eventful month in this country during the Gen Z movement and the protests. The Treasury bill was trading at 15.9%, then went down in 6 months, that is December 2024, 9.8%. Thus, this time, some policies were changing at the National Treasury. Remember, it is also the same time, it was perhaps the third month of the tenure of John Mbadi as the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury. So things were moving. 9.8% in December 2024, went down to 9.5% in January 2025. Last month, it was 8.9%, and it's now at 8.8%. You don't know how far it can go as it continues to go down, but also this means bad news for investors who invest in some of these Treasury bills. Let's take a look at the next one, which will help us look at the central bank rate, which is also determined by the Central Bank of Kenya's Monetary Policy Committee, which meets every 2 months. The central bank rate has been changing. This is sort of the baseline where banks have to use as they set their interest rates as they go ahead to lend money or credit to different customers. So in March 2024, the CBR rate or central bank rate was at 13%, stayed at 13% in June 2024, started going down in August 2024 to 12.75%. It has now gone down to 10.75% in February 2025, which is a record low considering what has been happening the past few years. But at the same time, the lending rate with the commercial banks, the average, these are figures according to the Central Bank of Kenya, which regulates the commercial banks, the lending rate has also been moving from 15.9% in March 2024, went up to 16.6% in October 2024, the highest during that period, but now is going down to 15.1%. But if you have to look at the change, it is not matching the drop that you have also witnessed. Of course, there's been a conversation between the Central Bank of Kenya and the commercial banks on why they're not affecting some of these benefits that are coming to the market. At the same time, September 2022, the average lending rate for banks was 12.4%. So if you have to compare that against what we have now, so September is crucial because this is when President William Ruto ascended to the office of president. We are still not there yet because at 15.1%, it is some 3 percentage points higher than 12.4%. But also at the time, you're talking about this central bank rate of 10.75%. Let's take a look at the next one, which will help us now look at the public debt. Of course, when the rates are moving, it also affects the public debt, the amount of interest that the country has to pay for borrowing from the Kenyan market. So the domestic debt has been going up. Initially, it used to be 49% of the total public debt. It has now gone up to 53.7%. In absolute terms, it is 5.8 trillion shillings. The external debt proportionately has been going down from about 51% to now 46.3%, and the absolute terms is 5 trillion shillings. The total public debt as of last Friday, according to the Central Bank of Kenya, is 10.9 trillion Kenya shillings. What does this mean? If you have to look at the next slide, yes, that will tell us about who owns this domestic debt. So Treasury bills, what I just described, the 91-day, 182-day, and 364-day Treasury bills account for 896 billion shillings. I'll be telling you who are the holders of this. Treasury bonds also, of course, from different markets, both locally and externally. We're talking about 5 trillion shillings. It is domestic debt, yes, but investors could be coming from different parts of the world. The Central Bank of Kenya overdraft, we're talking about 79.8 billion shillings. This is the amount of money that will be borrowed from the central bank to sort out some of the needs of the government. Then other sources, 98.9 billion shillings to give a total of 6.1 trillion shillings. So you see the difference between the figure I just showed you earlier on, because this now incorporates the overdraft and other borrowing from the market. Let's take a look at something else. And this is to do with the investors. So banks control up to 45.3% of the domestic debt. So remember the 5.9 trillion debt. So banks, commercial banks, control 45.3%. it explains why there's a bit of profit that has been reported by major commercial banks in the country. Pension funds account for 28.4% of this borrowing. Insurance companies, 7.2%. Parastatals, these are government institutions that lend to the government to finance government operations. You're talking about 6%. Others, who include you and I, or individuals that may want to invest in treasury bills and bonds, we're talking about just about 13%. So much of the rest comes from corporate institutions, financial institutions, as well as the pension funds in the country. Now, the impact of all this, there's a bit of reality that we witness at the moment. Despite the interest rates coming down, businesses are being auctioned. You may have seen in the daily several businesses being advertised there. Businesses are closing or scaling down in terms of their members of staff and also the products offering that they have. There has been stagnating salaries reported by institutions like the Federation of Kenyan Employers, and also we know of jobless youth that continue to complain each and every day, and of course struggling households. This is the reality versus what is happening to the economy at a time they're also reporting a better way of managing the forex reserves. That's data point for this week.
That's how things have been going up and down this week. And welcome back. So I want to welcome you. We are engaging the gear and we'll be engaging to the conversation. And I hope you are watching us and you are following us keenly. So what I want to ask you, invite somebody to join and invite somebody. Wale wamekuja studio, tumesema mapema ndio best. Don't wait until the last minute then you want to rush up. Staki watu wa kukuja wamechelewa. Watu wamekuja wamechelewa, mtaleta fine ya kuja shule mko mmechelewa. Also, I want to remind you that we are still supporting Sound Country Talk. Okay, let us just go for a short commercial break. Then we'll be right back here.
At Sound Candid Talk, we provide live UHD broadcasting for church services, talk shows and podcasts, weddings, live bands, products and services launches, webinars and trainings, Zoom meetings, conferences, seminars, exhibitions, and virtual concerts.
The Pharisees couldn't stand him, but they found out they couldn't stop him. Pilate couldn't find any fault in him. Herod couldn't kill him. Death couldn't handle him, and the grave couldn't hold him. Yeah! That's my king. That's my king. Hallelujah, yes, we are naga. 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 Hallelujah, yes, we are naga.
Welcome back for an amazing episode. So today we are rolling up, and the business of the day that we are coming in is all about the stories that has been lining up. And this is a political open forum show. So I want to invite you, feel free to be part and parcel of this, because you are a Kenyan and you can make sense to our politics the way our principle, our motto goes. So I will play up one video that will bring up the discussion tonight, whereby we'll begin with the story of Rigathi Gachagua, the former DP. Also, we will say about Kindiki, but first of all, wacha tuanze na hapo kwa Gachagua. Tuone amesema nini. And this is the Gachagua speech today.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called on Kenyans to support his new political party set to be launched in May, promising it will be the best alternative to the ruling Kenya Kwanza coalition. Gachagua says the party will field candidates for all positions with the goal of sending UDA packing. Gachagua also hinted that the new party's chairman will be from Kajiado County, as Melita Oletenges now reports.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was in Kajiado County, joined by regional leaders and his close allies as he laid the groundwork for his new political party set for launch in May. Gachagua revealing that the new party will have strong leadership from Kajiado, with the national chairman hailing from the county. He also made it clear that the party will field candidates for every political position.
Tutatangaza mwezi wa 5 na national chairman wa chama chetu mpya atatoka hapa Kajiado. Na hiyo chama tutasimamisha kutoka rais, governor, senator, mbunge, women rep mpaka MCA. Muko tayari?
As President William Ruto plans his tour of Mount Kenya counties next week, Gachagua took a swipe at the president, accusing him of making empty promises.
Kama kijana wenu munisamehe. Yule jamaa pia alidanganya mimi. Alikuja na Biblia. Anasema mwadhani agochwe. Tukafikiria ni Mkristo. Kumbe alikuwa ni fisi amevaa ngozi ya kondoo.
Despite facing criticism from some leaders in his Mount Kenya backyard for prioritizing a Mount Kenya agenda in national politics, Gachagua is now embracing a broader narrative, calling for unity among Kenyans and an end to ethnic divisions.
Naomba nyinyi muishi kwa amani kama ndugu na dada. Mupendane, mufanye biashara pamoja, muoane, muzae watoto. Kila mtu hapa ajue hapa ni kwake. Tumekubaliana?
Several leaders in Kajiado, including Kajiado Senator Lenkuseki and Kajiado North MP Onesmus Ngogoyo, have been strong supporters of Gachagua's political ambitions, with Gachagua banking on his selection of a party chairman from the region to boost his popularity further. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
So another story, the Nairobi City County Government and a company associated with a former prominent politician, Fairview.
That is Gachagua's speech, and we have seen it because Gachagua anasema kwamba watu waone mzaane. Mkwe wengi. Okay, I'll be listening from your opinion and I'll be listening from your views too. For those who are joining up the show, join up as early as possible. Don't wait until late, then we begin one to join up. Because today we have a very brief show. So don't waste your time, then decide to come up late. So, and then you begin saying that you have closed me out, you have locked me out, you don't want me to talk, you don't want me to express myself. Now is the time, mapema ndio best. Unangoja uchelewe and then unaanza kusema tumekufungia nje. Sitaki hiyo mchezo ya kusema umefungiwa nje juu umechelewa. Kuja mapema. Usikuje kama umechelewa. So, this is Gachagua's speech. Let us begin to analyze the Gachagua speech from the top. Gachagua is saying that anafungua chama, is opening a party whereby the party leader will come from Kajiado. And apart from opening the party leader, he's claiming that Ruto lied to him. Alikuja na Biblia akaniambia kwamba mwadhani agoswe. Kuambiwa mwadhani agoswe akapoteza sense, akaamua kukubali kumfuata yeye. So anasema mumosame manake aliweza kudanganywa. Akaingia box. So what is your perspective? Do you feel kwamba alidanganywa? Do you feel kwamba hii yote kufika mpaka amwe is just a strategy to use to have the sympathy and to get to mwananchi so that can be voted for, or he can align and make his political front to work, ama ni propaganda tu ili kuguza roho ya mwananchi? So I want to hear from you and I want to hear from every one of you. I'll play the video one more time, then let us get the context very well. Anasema kwamba mumusamee alidanganywa? Do you feel Gachagua alidanganywa? Tell me your views on the comment section, and it will be good. Let us check one more time.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called on Kenyans to support his new political party set to be launched in May, promising it will be the best alternative to the ruling Kenya Kwanza coalition. Gachagua says the party will field candidates for all positions with the goal of sending UDA packing. Gachagua also hinted that the new party's chairman will be from Kajiado County, as Melita Oletenges now reports.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was in Kajiado County, joined by regional leaders and his close allies as he laid the groundwork for his new political party set for launch in May. Gachagua revealing that the new party will have strong leadership from Kajiado, with the national chairman hailing from the county. He also made it clear that the party will field candidates for every political position.
Tutatangaza mwezi wa 5 na national chairman wa chama chetu mpya atatoka hapa Kajiado. Na hiyo chama tutasimamisha kutoka rais, governor, senator, mbunge, women rep mpaka MCA. Muko tayari?
As President William Ruto plans his tour of Mount Kenya counties next week, Gachagua took a swipe at the president, accusing him of making empty promises.
Kama kijana wenu munisamehe. Yule jamaa pia alidanganya mimi. Alikuja na Biblia. Anasema mwadhani agochwe. Tukafikiria ni Mkristo. Kumbe alikuwa ni fisi amevaa ngozi ya kondoo.
Despite facing criticism from some leaders in his Mount Kenya backyard for prioritizing a Mount Kenya agenda in national politics, Gachagua is now embracing a broader narrative, calling for unity among Kenyans and an end to ethnic divisions.
Naomba nyinyi muishi kwa amani kama ndugu na dada. Mupendane, mufanye biashara pamoja, muoane, muzae watoto. Kila mtu hapa ajue hapa ni kwake. Tumekubaliana?
Several leaders in Kajiado, including Kajiado Senator Lenku Seki and Kajiado North MP Onesmus Ngogoyo, have been strong supporters of Gachagua's political ambitions, with Gachagua banking on his selection of a party chairman from the region to boost his popularity further. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
So another story, the Nairobi City Council.
That's how things are on the ground. I see inside Douglas has joined from the other side of the studio. Douglas, how are you?
Okay, can you hear me, Shadi?
I can hear you. Go
on. Okay, so hello, Shadizo, and hello, everybody watching us. Welcome to the show. I'm on the other side of the studio. On this side of the show, my camera is not a real camera. See? But anyway, you have my sound, and I hope it's loud and clear. So I would just love to welcome you to the studio one more time. Welcome to the show. So I'll be co-hosting with Shadizo. So we welcome into the studio to help us dive into the conversation. But in the meantime, I'll just I'll just give my my voice. I don't know what's the question, Shadizo.
You have watched the Kindiki's Gachagua's clip. I want your contribution towards Gachagua's clip. You have watched Gachagua's clip. I want your contribution towards Gachagua's clip and Gachagua's speech today.
Yeah, right. The issue with Gachagua. So Gachagua has been telling his the people who are listening to him that he's going to launch a party. He's going to launch a party, and it's been keeping people waiting and all that stuff. But as usual, I don't take any of these guys seriously. The so-called Kanu orphans and all these people. There's nothing disruptive that they can do to change Kenya for the better. It's just alignments and realignments to stay relevant. he's really managed to stay afloat since his impeachment, and I think he somehow thinks he can pull Ruto 2022 and probably become president or something big. But I don't know. But at this point, Kenyans, we are not paying attention to such theatrics. We want real and clear leadership. We are thinking about moving our country forward. We want to get our country from this third world dump that we are, and industrialize our country and develop it, move it to a high income country. And these things of tribal politics and that kind of stuff, I can already see Big J in the comments saying he's saying that in Kajiado because there are huge number of Kikuyus there. That is what we're calling retrogressive kind of conversations and politics. And we don't want that kind of talk. I think any talk of ethnic politics, and be it in politics, be it in governance, be it when you're talking about cabinet and cabinet positions and all that kind of stuff, we should not tolerate divisive politics. They try to gaslight us that stay united. Who told you we are divided? It's you people who remind us that we are divided. I've told you before, and especially, Shadizo, me and you, we are both young Kenyans. We can, you can meet, you can meet me, and you never really care which part of the country you come from. So long as we click, we work together, we are in school together, just something that we found our life paths crossing. We don't really care what ethnic community you come from. You're just a Kenyan, you're a human being, and that's it. It's these people who remind us, what set us apart, and we should pay attention to that. But moving on, I think Kenya is ready to move on from that kind of that kind of political narrative, that kind of conversation when we are thinking about our issues and what makes us as Kenyans, and that sort of thing. So I don't pay much attention to Gachagua, but of course he's going to upset some cards. He's going to upset some moves when it comes to politics. I've always said that until we move past this tribal thing, we still need to look at our politics from that ethnic kind of eye, if we are going to at least be able to read politics in a near to accurate manner. And he's managed to keep the president out of the mountain. The president touched the mountain, and he knew why he was told not to touch the mountain, and he's stayed away from it ever since. I think you'll play that story. Kindiki has been forerunning. I think the media was relating what Kindiki was doing today to what John the Baptist did for Jesus before Jesus came. And that is what Kindiki has been doing. So the president is expected to visit the mountain next week. And I don't know if Gachagua will mobilize some goons. Hizo ndio siasa tumezoea to be treated to. So we don't know what to expect if Gachagua will send him some goons and cause some chaos. But we expect some bit of drama when he does that next week. It's not going to be calm, at least. We expect some bit of drama. But that is going to unfold. But this thing, this is promising people he's a party. It's not going to do any good for the people. It's just a political vehicle to get him and his allies who are axed, courtesy of the impeachment and the fallout between Gachagua and Ruto. and to get him back into power. But it's not about any ideologies. It's not about issues that affect Kenyans. It's just a political vehicle. Just formations that we've seen throughout the century by the so-called Kanu orphans. They, you are out of power today, so you form a new vehicle, use it as a bargaining chip. You consolidate a certain people. That gives you enough muscle to get on the negotiation table. You play the chess game, get back into power, then it's a cycle. But I think it's about time that Kenyans start mobilizing around issues and get out of their tribal cocoons and their personality cults kind of political conversations. Yeah. So yes, Shadizu, back to you.
Okay, we are here from Douglas, and I want to invite you people come. Let us have the conversation. I saw Lala inside the studio. I don't know why Lala has disappeared because we're not here for long. We're here for a very, very, very short time. So don't wait until the last minute so that you want to come up to pull up, begin complaining that we have locked you out of the studio. Douglas has speak about that. This is one of the form of the politics. Okay, what do you feel when Gachagua is saying that nilidanganywa? What's your perspective? What's your opinion about that?
Alidanganywa na nani? I think Gachagua needs to cut us some slack, man. He's ridden on this victim story for far too long, and I think he measure mileage pana. After something else, but he knows his target audience. But for those of us who are looking at our governance from a higher perspective, we don't take him seriously, and his games and all that kind of stuff. Alidanganywa kwani yeye ni mtoto. I mean, he's already told this story over and over. People have given him sympathy. People have given him crowds, and I think he now needs to move on from it, man. Tell us something else, but Kenyans are facing issues. You just ran a story of how our economy is doing, the status of our debts, the status of our economy, businesses. I think you ran that story. Businesses are either shutting down, scaling down. Shutting down, scaling down. That sort of thing. Youth unemployment, salary stagnation, and all those. It's just reality on the ground, and that is what we want leaders to talk about. How do we tame corruption? How do we tame tribalism? Not telling us that we are past that politics. But then again, he knows his audience very well, and his audience is going to listen to him. But I like I've said, I don't take that kind of talk seriously. It's just sympathy seeking, like Big J is saying in the comments.
Okay, Douglas saying, and also the people saying, just looking for sympathy. Amesema alidanganywa. Then somebody else saying, kwa nini mtoto? Okay, I want to hear your opinion too. BJ says that he is trying to seek sympathy. See, Tony saying, BJ, the guy is tribal. That's what Tony is saying. And then you're saying that, that Kajiado has a bigger number of Kikuyus. Okay, I'll be checking also those comments. But what I want to welcome you is invite somebody to watch with. The show is almost coming to an end, so please invite somebody. Don't wait until the show inaisha ndo nataka kuja uanze kuongea. You know me, I don't have patience to wait for you when you didn't want to turn up as early as possible. Now it's almost an hour. You haven't shown up. We want to wait until the last minute now that we want to pull up. Please wake them up, wake everyone up. Tell everyone that the show is all right here. The show is already moving. The show is already on the board. So we are having the conversation. Okay, apart from that one, the conversation, we have seen that he's saying that he is launching a party date 5. Okay, he will be uploading and telling things that about everything about date 5, and whatever they will plan for the party. They say that he's promising that Kenya, that they will rule from the president to the women rep to the governor to the MPs to everything to the MCAs. Okay, Douglas, what do you feel about that? Do you feel Gachagua has the strength to pull up for that from beginning from the president through the to the MCA?
Shadizo, okay. His kind of politics, the tribal politics that we've always known, he knows how to play it very well, and he knows his audience. And judging by the kind of conversations and the kind of divisions that we've seen ever since he was impeached, first thing was, Kikuyus were, how the politics of our country are. Me and you, like I've said, are young people, and we don't subscribe to those sort of politics, I'd say. But the older generations, that's their kind of politics, and he knows his audience very well. And after the impeachment, he showed up first public appearance and he was cheered. So the people, his supporters, see the government, or rather Ruto, as villain, and him as the victim. So that has given him mileage. So if he launches his party, it's definitely going to have supporters, especially from the mountain. He commands a significant amount of following. That's why the president has avoided the mountain. And so, yeah, every party is going to field some candidates. And if they have numbers, they're going to win some seats. But I don't think that's an issue. We should be telling Kenyans to just judge every single... Don't judge candidates by the party they subscribe to. That's why I'm telling these people. We need to move away from personality cult politics and tribal politics. Let's, scrutinize every single a person who comes to us and claims to be a leader, and they will do this and that. Let's scrutinize them for the kind of person they are, and not who they have in their quota or what party they subscribe to, but what ideologies they hold on to. What's their track record, if they've been in politics before, what's their track record if they've not, if they've been in a different career, what are some of their achievements, what's their conduct, their history. Those are the kind of things we should be looking at leaders. But it's still Kenya, and like I've said, until we get there, we're still going to be looking at politics as it is right now. So I'm just hoping the other panelists, I can see Jue is in studio. I think Lala is having an issue keeps joining and dropping out, but I hope that finally he'll have a stable connection, and he'll also give us his piece of thought. But in the meantime, back to you, Shadizo.
Okay, yeah, we try to explain it according to you, but let me listen to about Koome Njua. Koome, how are you?
Hey, salama sana. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go on.
Yes. So thank you for the opportunity. I am just listening in, and I think our democracy is evolving, and it has really evolved. But also, I think the momentum that we had begun last year is slowing down because of very many factors. There is obviously the factor of fear, what was driven by the government. So people are afraid to speak up or something of the sort. Then there is also the realignment of the politicians to counter the movement, the momentum. Because right now what is happening is that all the politicians now are in self-preservation mode. They are on both sides. The both antagonists, they are on self-preservation, and when they sometimes when they forget while talking, they usually hear you really hear the message that this is not for you, this is for us, that sort of thing. So as we are just the supporters, we should support them to fight the other group. But that kind of thinking, even if the momentum has gone down, that kind of thinking will not work this time, because it is not working. Actually, it's not working. It's maybe functioning, but it's not really working, because when you the traditional basis of where these people think they will be supported, you also hearing some patriotic people saying that this is wrong, this is not okay. So I think the politicians have also done very well to scatter the movement, because now the conversation has changed. The conversation has now been trivialized to things like tribe, and that is where that is what this Kenya is just a piece of cake to them. They're just carving it up. When I saw that video of Rigiji in Kiserian today, I really expected him to come out very convincing. But when even you saw the crowd was bored. The crowd really wanted to participate, but the guy was not becoming charismatic, or he did not have a message. So it was something very. If you didn't watch it, go and look at that video. It looked like a moment of bewilderment. It was and also the reasons that he's giving, those reasons now are tired. I agree with Douglas that those reasons were very valid just after what happened to him, which many people thought was unfair, or depending on which side they sat. But that message now should have evolved to something different. But I also think the reason why it will not evolve and it cannot evolve is because the more things change, the more they remain the same. This thing kind of looks like the run-up to the 2002 elections, where Moi was defeated. Even in the NAC, the rainbow, the initial NAC, there was a Malwa, Kibaki, Ngilu. Even at that time, the three of them, it was like this moment where you don't really have one person they are almost all equals. So they took too much time to decide who will carry the flag, and they took too much time until now Raila had to leave Moi and come and say Kibaki tosha. Then everyone acted surprised. But also, he came in and he just announced and he took credit for everything. So that is the moment I see with Kinarigiji and Kalonzo and that group. No one among them is really coming up in terms of even confidence, even in terms of messaging. No one is. They're all at the same level, which is not a good score. And you know what happened thereafter. So I think these things. I don't know if this play is written in the same way. See, when we read the books by Imbuga, tulikuwa tunaona plays. So maybe this is a different script, but we'll soon know. So we will soon know. That is if this government lasts up to 2027. If the milk will decide to continue boiling without pouring, even after reaching boiling point. So that is yet to be seen. So I think we are still not in a good place. I think we have the level of civic education has gone down. The Gen Zs have also, you remember the run up to the June 25 thing. A time like now, the level of civic education was really high. Getting into April, May, then June, people started studying the Constitution, trying to understand what a finance bill is. I remember that time it was very interesting to be part of. The rise of the civic awareness in Kenya has never been that high since Kenya was a country. No, since the white man left, not the colonizer. So I think we are in for better days. Grab your popcorn or prepare for the next maandamano. It depends with what you believe in, and we are in for a ride. But don't be fooled that these politicians on both sides really care about us. They don't, because if they did, right now there are some very serious things that need to be taken care of at the moment, especially like healthcare. Healthcare and education. I think these people don't care. They are not in the system. Some of them maybe were in the system before. They cannot remember how it felt, or they have just chosen to live like nobles. Yeah? They have decided to put themselves in another class in their head. So none of these people really care about Kenya. They are just deciding on how to distribute our taxes, our money. That is all they care about. So this is like watching a football game between two teams, two English teams, English Premier League teams who have big sponsors, big interests to win that. The players don't really care. They just want to win for the team. So even these politicians, they don't really. They want to win for themselves. They are the real players in this, and we are the pawns. If we decide to do what they want on both sides. So I also saw the entry of former Chief Justice Maraga, and I thought I didn't know what to think of it. I think that is something that you need to also see how it's going to progress, how it's going to.
Okay, Kome, I just wanted you to contribute to the story of Gachagua. We are mounting the story. We are not contributing to everything. Okay.
So what I said about Gachagua, I think he really needs to now get out of that tired story about how he was removed. I think if he's really serious about the politics, he now should concentrate on the messaging. Because now that message is now, the more he keeps repeating it, the lesser the people will have to listening to him. So yeah, thank you very much for the time.
Thank you for that. I want to listen from Lala. Lala, why don't you speak about the story of Rigathi today?
Give me 3 minutes, I'll be back.
Okay, let us wait while Lala come back. Let us continue. I want to get to add up because the time is going so fast. I want to check out the story about Kindiki's response. And they say that Kindiki is like John the Baptist is going forward before the Jesus. So today Kindiki is moving in Mount Kenya, and they saying that he's preparing the way for the president, as the president plans to go to Mount Kenya next week. Let us watch out this, and then we give you your opinion from the people on the board to other people also on the panel too.
Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki camped in Mount Kenya region for the second day to make way for next week's visit to the region by President William Ruto. Kindiki urged the Mount Kenya residents to embrace the president during his tour, saying the president will come bearing development goodies. And as Emmanuel Toh now reports, there is a last-minute dash to prep some of these stalled projects to be commissioned and unveiled by the head of state in just under a week.
Like the biblical John the Baptist who made the way for Jesus Christ, Professor Kithure Kindiki is a man on a mission to prepare the way for President William Ruto, who is expected to come bearing goodies for the 10 counties of the region. Kindiki, who began his tours of the mountain Wednesday, hitting the ground running with whistle-stop rallies in Tharaka Nithi, Murang'a and Kiambu counties Thursday to check on the projects that the president is expected to commission and launch. The DP asking the residents to give the head of state a warm embrace as he prepares to deliver some of the projects he promised them.
Next week, Mungu akitujalia, Rais wa Kenya anakuja hapa Murang'a. Si namna hii? Na haja kuja mkutano ya siasa, amekuja kufungua masoko yetu. Mungetaka rais asembee hapa? Atembea hapa Murang'a, afike huko Mathioya na Maragwa, akuje asikuje.
Mimi mnataka siasa ama maendeleo? Mnataka siasa ama maendeleo? Kwa hivyo sisi tuendelee namna hiyo.
The DP asking the residents to shun divisive politics and work with the government of the day for the benefit of the region.
Atungetaka kujifanya ati sisi tuongee mambo yetu peke yetu, alafu tuanze kukejeli ama kuletea hao wengine mambo ya madharau. Kenya ni moja, sisi wote ni wamoja. Rais ndiye amenituma hapa tukiwa nao waheshimiwa, kuhakikisha kwamba zile projects za serikali ambazo zimeanzishwa zinaharakishwa, zinaisha.
And with the trip barely 4 days away, there was a visible rush against time to have some of the projects the president is expected to commission, inspect and launch ready, with a contractor who was set to complete Ruringo Stadium, racing to ensure some progress in this stalled project. The president, who toured the county over a year ago, promised to have it ready by the end of last year, but this is the current state of affairs.
Kuna stadium hapa imetusumbua sana. Hiyo stadium imejengwa karibu Yesu anafika kama bado haijakamilika. Si ndio? So nimesema kabla ya mwisho wa mwaka huu hii stadium tutamaliza. Nimeleta contractor mpya.
Let me also pray that the pending visit of the president is not what has provoked this.
President Ruto is set to begin his tour of Mount Kenya region next week Tuesday, after a 5-month hiatus from the region, which has been particularly hostile since former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was kicked out of office. Emmanuel Toh, Citizen TV.
That's what has a panel what's going on in sehemu za Mlima. I want to listen from Douglas first. Douglas, what's your opinion about that? And can the preparation towards the coming of President Mount Kenya?
Trying to look for kind words, but I can't find any. I want to be blunt. So, okay, it's I really have harsh words, but I'm trying to resolve them. So, I'm going to use the words. It's giving poor governance stuff and cluelessness and that kind of thing. I mean, so you're rushing to build a stadium so that the president can come and launch them in his trip back to the mountain. It's your job. You should just have done it, and you don't need to come and launch it even, Bana. Just get busy. People are busy. Times are hard. People are busy trying to make ends meet. We don't want these theatrics because these are theatrics that they are treating us to. I mean, these are things you should be doing, but I think it's just a system that has been designed to keep us in perpetual state of control. It's like handouts now. He's coming with them, and I think the people of Mount Kenya are going to reap big from his trip back to the mountain. He's going to come bearing lots of goodies. But, one thing Kenyans need to understand that these are not gifts, they are not goodies or that sort of thing. It's public money, it's your money, and these are things it should be doing. That stadium that you've just seen there in a very devastating condition, it should have been built a long time ago. And if we pull out the numbers of how much money has gone into constructing it up to that ugly structure you've seen there, Shadizo, you'll be shocked at how much money has been spent so far. But these are things that government should do, and they shouldn't even make noises about them because it's just their responsibility. We're all busy out here trying to make things move for us, and we just need services, we need infrastructure, we need those sort of things. And we pay taxes, and we pay really high taxes in this country, and being treated to this sort of thing. So it is now Kindiki is the forerunner, like John the Baptist, to prepare the way for the president to come. And so it's another week of doing nothing, just roaming the streets of Mount Kenya. 2025 pia itaisha while we are just roaming the country. Last year nothing was actually done. Last year, I don't need to remind you what happened last year. 2023, 2023 was him trying to calm down political temperatures. We had Azimio on the streets, and it was him trying to cool things down. So technically, we've not been working. We've just been a country in theatrics and drama. So our politics need to change, and we need to find new people. We need to break down this, this system. And I always say, and young people have been saying, all these people need to go, need to drain the swamp, and we need to reset our politics, our society. So this thing is just, it's just clownery to me, Shadizo. I don't have kind of words.
Okay, let me listen to Kwame. Kwame, what's your opinion about that? Kwame, can you hear me? But I think Kome is not getting me. Let me listen to Lala. Lala, what's your opinion about that?
Can you recap? I wasn't keen. What's the question?
The question is, Kindiki is moving around Mount Kenya regions, saying that he's preparing the way for the coming of the president next week, and he's doing it all to make sure that when president comes, that he have a good impression. So, what can you speak about that?
First of all, good to see you, Shadizo, Douglas, and Kome, and all of you in the background. There's a reason why I choose to appear on this particular panel, and it's because I know they are innocent mind. They are very wonderful, smart young Kenyans who would like to see a country that is working, that is progressing, that is doing well. And they're really concerned about their country. And so my coming here is to join them, use my little knowledge or use my little understanding of how things work, or even use my ignorance to kind of challenge them to point out some of those inconsistencies or the ignorance that I display as I talk. And so it's a choice of mine. I could be with my other groups, but I chose this place. Before I actually joined this particular group, I was quite involved with the other group. There are some of us from Harvard Business School. We had a team that is working. I don't, attend it as much as I should. We had young mind. In fact, I was one of the oldest in that group. The group is on, working on issues in Ghana, in India, and different parts of the world. And but I chose this channel because I felt that there are young people who genuinely want to see a new Kenya. I've been disappointed to an extent, but I'm still very optimistic. And one of the disappointments that I have is that the young mind that should be thinking in terms of sustainable development, how do we protect our environment? How do we get our business working and make our country productive and a leader in the world today? And the thinking was that maybe some of us could use some of our connections here and there to be able to challenge what we have and also open doors for some of our young minds in an environment that we believe you guys are working on as young people that will be attractive to people to come in and want to invest in and want to see that things are working well. But I'm disappointed because when I see people like Gachagua, starting a party, and then I'm just questioning what is really going on here. Because we do know that even the capital that are being used by some of these people are stolen. They cannot explain to us how they made those billions of money that they are using to start a party, And then the sad thing is that some of our young people will even join there because they got the money, they are able to buy time and certain group of people to join them, even very reasonable people joining a group they know these are simply not very dependable characters. You cannot trust them, but they go there because things will work out. We are fighting. We are trying to get a new Kenya, but clearly, this bunch of people cannot do it because they cannot be example that people can emulate for us to get where we want to go. So I'm a little disappointed with such type of thinking, but I'm hopeful because I know these young people are smart enough to see when there's a lie, when somebody has never walked. You cannot give what you don't have. If you don't have integrity, you can't give it. If you never loved other communities, it's so hard to do it. You may want to call people to join you, whether it's a chairman from Kajiado or other places, but deep down the power base stays where it's supposed to be because of suspicion and fear and the feeling like you're superior. You have to lead everybody else. Okay, so here is where I think we have a problem, that there are people that should be exposed, that I thought young people coming together would expose them, but they are kind of inventing themselves, coming back, and now they are the leaders. They are the people that young people seem to revolve around, because young people don't have the funds and they got to survive. And some of the young people came from the same people that stole and empowered them. And so they're caught between a rock and a hard place. And so those are some of the challenges that I think I have joining a group like this one. But because of also what I stated, that there are people that genuinely want a new Kenya. And if you genuinely want a new Kenya, then I don't see how you can work with people like Gachagua and even join such a party, which we know is not bringing anything new. There are already enough parties that we in here. And if it's a new party, let it be a party that is clearly showing character, character in leadership, special skills, where do they want to take us to? But here is just simply cheap politics without any clear agenda on how to get us where we are going. So at the end of the day, look at young people, look at character. What has this person done? There are those that made mistakes. We can forgive them. Yes, we know Martha Karua had an issue when it came to Kibaki, the swearing in and all that stuff. Okay, but we know that by and large, just walk the path that all of us would like to go. So we can trust. Baba is another example. Is not a thief. Okay, and then there are all the young people, the Moraras and others that we know are genuinely innocent. So we have leaders that we can be able to show these are the examples, especially those who have been tested. So I think as we fight, let's remember what we are fighting against. We are fighting against injustice, poverty, lack of access to education and healthcare, and all these things that's kept. We are fighting against corruption, against tribalism, and all these things. So let us not be sidetracked by personalities and what they tell us when we know very well that they're not going anywhere. For somebody like Gachagua to say, I didn't know that this man Ruto was such a bad guy, we found out, we believed him. That to me is hogwash. It's a lie. He knew exactly who the person is. Okay? So let's open our eyes and stop this cheap politics from corrupting our young people. And let's point them out and let's stay on the right path. Yes, that we have multi-party system, but at the core of it, we have a nation to take care of. And behind it all, there has to be a conviction, a love for the nation, a love for progress. And I think we can do it. The last meeting I had at Harvard University before I joined just last year was with a young man, a very, very young man. This young man is the advisor of Ambani, the richest Indian guy. Okay, and he left there to come and join us in our meetings, just to because he believed in what's going on around the globe, and we are supposed to take one project here and there, different countries to work on, and these are things that Kenyans can do, but the environment is not conducive because of this cheap politics, cheap tribalistic mindset, because of a lack of agenda, lack of a vision for a nation, and because of corruption. So even good ideas, good thoughts, good minds, people don't focus on. We focus on Gachagua. And that's why I hate to talk about Gachagua, because I think this is a person that we should not even talk about in this panel. But because, of course, he has people behind him, we're going to talk, we cover him. But to me, I even hate talking about Gachagua. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for that contribution. I'm able to listen to Kome. Kome, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what's your take about that before we go to the next story?
Yeah, as I've always said in this forum, and many times, me, I am a true believer in the June 25th movement. I believe that everything changed that day, and that is why these people are that confused. I really believe they did not know what was coming, and that really is an indictment on our level of thinking as Kenyans, how we elected people who could not see that coming, while when all the signs were there. The people who lead us did not see it coming. How dumb can they be? And that is so embarrassing for someone who is as patriotic as me. That is so embarrassing. They should have seen these things miles away, but none of them saw it coming. Now they are all confused. The only one thing they agree with is that June 25th can never happen again on both sides. That is what they believe in, and they agree in. They don't believe in anything else. They are sitting, sharing the loot, but they believe that the worst thing that can never happen in this country is people doing what they did in June 25th. That they are afraid of. And this ghost of June 25th is what is eating them. That is why there is this visit. Never have you seen a visit like this. This is a visit like no other. It's being prepared for like a coronation. Because what kind of nonsense is this? These guys, even if that stadium has not been built, even if that stadium was to be built by the national government, what were the area MPs? Why were they not pushing about this thing, making noise about it on media, even in parliament? This is the main stadium of the capital of Nyeri. This is the Rurengo Stadium. This for patriotic leaders, this will bring them together with unity of purpose to make sure that it's finished, that it competes with the stadiums in Nairobi, that it will be in their best interest to make it. But nobody was talking about it. Even the governor. No one wanted these people. I have told you, and I will continue. These guys don't care. Now that the president is coming, he's pushing some money there, throwing some money, things to be done quickly. Probably he might never even go back again. Then now that he has gone there, very bad thing to do in 2025. That is when now we know this thing was not done, but people were sitting pretty. If the meeting was probably going to be done in another place, this story will never come out for many people, because these people don't care. The ghost of 2025, this ghost, it will eat so many people. So this Rigiji thing, Me, I'm saying about messaging. And when I say messaging, I mean this. There is a certain message that the June 25th movement wants to hear. If you cannot give us that message, you don't have your message right. There were some bare minimums that the Gen Zs gave that everybody agreed with. But I've told you, this ruling class, they do not want to see even one demand from that list. And that is why their messages will never be correct. And you will see, none of them will try to align by that message. So their messaging will always be wrong, because even if they say something, it is going to be very expensive to implement. Because this thing, the message that this movement wants is clean. We just want clean things. And these guys cannot be clean. The current guys cannot be clean because they know each other. If you say, I will say. So they are just fighting on a very, very... Uhuru told us that Ruto is a bad man. But he could not tell us exactly what this man did. Because the moment he said, then the other guy will also tell on him. If you stay in Nairobi, you know what I mean. The deals that are being done, if you just look, you could just do a simple a company check and see who the directors of guys doing business in this town. They are all over the place. During the day, these guys are together. And that is why they will not be able to give us the message, the correct message. And I think this is going to be the easiest way for someone to become a president in Kenya, if he can get his message correct, and if he's a new player. Because these old players, they are not even in they will not be shortlisted. All of them, give me a name. None of them can be shortlisted in the correct message. So if for a new person, a new entry, and I am not saying anything, but the Maragas of this world, and we wish many others to come, those guys, someone might come like a dark horse, even before the 2027, and change things. Because the messaging is very specific. This messaging is not, it's just black or white. And I don't think the current, everyone there, around 1,000 people there, no one can give us the message we want. So it's going to be very new for a new player who gives us the correct message. And why we need a new player is because we need that new player to know that we can take him out also if he messes with the message. We don't want to put someone there who is going to feel entitled, like this, like what Mother Karua says, and I don't think she believes in it. She says that leadership does not have a title deed. I agree with her. These guys think that they must be our leaders. They have to be, I have to be your leader by force. No, not in 2025. So we need a person who we can remove, and a person who will not come here and become entitled, telling us how he's helping us. You're not helping us. We are the one we are the one who helped you to get there. There's no way you can help us. You just have to do your job. We don't want nothing more, nothing less. So the good thing also is that these things are showing us the true colors of these guys. We now know their true colors. And even when they are talking, even when Gachagua is talking, the message is so off. So now you see the true color. These people, they're not talking about issues. They're just giving us stories of threatening wars, threatening lack of peace. These guys are just behaving like monsters. So it's good we are seeing their true colors, but these guys cannot give us the right message. So as I said, grab some popcorn as the milk is getting hotter, and we will see what will happen very soon. But the correct message These guys cannot give it, because we actually believe that this country can be done correctly in our lifetime. This country can be good to us. We are not the people who are supposed. This country has to work for us. We are not supposed to be working for some people. And that is why, and I know Kenyans have the largest potential. I don't even see any other country in Africa to be patriotic for their country. Kenyans love this place. These guys are messing us up, but they will not believe. Thank you very much.
Can I say something?
Briefly, Lala, please.
Okay. Komi and Dugukomi, I agree with you 100%, maybe 99.9%, but there's a 0.001%, which I may say that I disagree. And that is, we tend to, and this is all of us, we tend to put blame on these leaders, on these politicians, okay? It's like there's a feeling of helplessness on our part. So we are looking for a benevolent dictator, somebody to do things because they want to. But for us, it's as if we are helpless. We can't force them to do anything. And that's the sad part, for us, especially in Africa, that we don't take our responsibility as citizens. So things keep going the way they go till we get a good leader. Then things change. I think the idea behind democracy is educated, brave citizens who know what they want, and when you violate the norms and the laws and rules and regulation, you are removed or punished for it. They're looking for a system that respect and protect their wishes as citizens. And I think that is where we are being exploited by wrong people. If a dictator comes in power, we are helpless. They will do whatever they want till they are done. Look at what we have done. We have allowed the political elite to decide on what laws they want or what they don't want. Basically, that's exactly what they do. For example, election is done, and when it's done, supposedly 14 days, whatever, I don't know, is it 14 days to kind of resolve it? So even if somebody has stolen, it's almost like crossing to another country and you stolen, you got loot, and then you cannot follow that person in that country because there's no extradition orders. So you see them enjoying their loot, okay, which is basically your money, your property. And that's what we've done. We actually allow thieves and robbers and others to enjoy what they have. So any robber, any thief, any corrupt person around the globe, the place they want to put their money is Kenya. And it is sad because I was told by one of the Kenyans, prominent Kenyans who has worked on some of these things, that a lot of investment in Kenya are from dirty money. Because when you get into Kenya airspace, money becomes the law. It's no longer
Sum up.
Look at the laws, that should be able to protect the people. Okay. So these are, I think I'm making a very good, important point here. And I want all of us to hear it. That when you have dirty money because of bad political leadership, then your country's basically gone. So it doesn't matter how many good people you want up there, unless the citizens themselves are empowered to demand what they want. and whom they want, respect of laws, we are done. So this idea of focusing on Ruto must go, it's a good idea, but it should be a message that digs deeper. Because number one, Ruto, to get up there, he had his people. And those people now becoming opposition, and they are still, now they are the ones who are our leaders. So I think it's important for us to be able to see the magnitude of the problem we have. And the only people that can solve it is the citizens that are able to understand what's going on and brave enough to call these people to order, as Bernard always say, so that we create a system that is sustainable. Because what we have now, you replace Ruto, is not sustainable. Okay? Because the system is still the same. The thinking is still the same. Wananchi are not powered, hawana ile nguvu, wanafikiria hawana, wanafikiria serikali ni kitu wezi kucheza naye hata ikiwa mbaya. Okay? In other words, the ignorance that we display, even on some of these channels that we have, talking about Ruto must go, which is a good slogan, but let's understand it, let's look at it holistically, let's create something in its place that will take care of hizo chafu zote ambazo ziko ndani hapo. Asante, pole nimeenda zaidi.
Okay, Douglas, let's go.
Oh yeah, you see that 1% that Lala is talking about is the same 1% that I also disagree with. He's criticized. I think last year proved that citizens aren't afraid of the government, and I totally agree with Komi on this one. And it proved that citizens actually believe that sovereign power belongs to them, and especially people who've not lived in the era when citizens were disenfranchised and believe that government is boss and citizens are there to be talked at and be told what to do. And the constitution just says that all sovereign power belongs to you and you've donated it to these people. So when one thing that I totally disagree with you, Lala, is when you come on this channel and sing praises for Raila Odinga. You see that sort of mindset is what has kept us in perpetual slavery, because we believe that because someone has done this and that in the past, now they can't be questioned, they can't we can't call them to account when they're wrong because they've done this and that. And I always equate that to a father who is abusive, but once in a while they do something nice for you. So when you try to raise your voice against the abuse, they remind you that I take you to the most expensive schools, or I buy you the coolest toys. You shouldn't be saying these things. It's an abusive relationship. And that is the kind of thing that we keep fighting about. And that is what we were having a conversation here when we were talking about Salasia. And, this is politics. We should not equate it to our family values. Democracy doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter how old I am or how old Raila is. If he's wrong, then it's okay for me to call him out. I mean, he's a politician. He's a father when he goes back home. But he's a politician, and the moment he's decided to take up public office, anyone can call him out, even a 6-year-old, because he's a citizen of this country. And I think that is what Kenyans need to begin learning. Some of these things, some of these barriers, I think we need to begin breaking them down. So moving forward, I believe that we need to see these people as they are at our mercy and we're not at their mercy, because we have the Constitution of Kenya 2010 gives us that sovereign power to pick whoever we want and to drop whoever we don't want. That's just my follow-up thought to that discussion. Shadizo, back to you.
Kome, you wanted to say something?
Oh yeah. I agree. I totally agree with Douglas, and I believe that I mean, personally, the way I operate right now, since June 25th, I've not moved. I'm still there. I believe that until that is sorted out, there's nothing we are talking about. But also because of the vulnerability of our populace. Also, whatever the president is doing, that visit and all these things, going to do launches and whatever. Kenyans are also we are not that backward. We see what is happening. If this guy just sat in the office and did a few, Kenya, we are very far behind. We are very far. You guys, you have no idea. Someone like Lala will tell you that where he is at right now and where we are at least 100 years behind. Huh? We are not producing a toothpick. We are not producing a needle. We are so far back. There are so many things these guys can do without loitering all over the country. And we will notice because we are so far behind. I mean, what is the level of hate that we have for ourselves? Even without taking all those rounds and going and speaking about big money, there's so much that the president can do while in State House for all the 47 counties. And we will, and because of our level of naivety and whatever, he will reap big. He will make big gains, big popularity, very little things because of how far back we are. But because these guys totally don't care, there's nothing they are going to do. There's nothing they are going to do for us. So we have no other choice. We have no other choice. And people with small children like me, we should be very afraid. How are we going to move this? How are we going to raise these people? Our parents raised us. I don't say that they did not have their fair share of struggle, but things were there. They had jobs. People would get jobs with very little qualifications. Right now, it's so competitive. There are no jobs. Nothing is being created. We should be very afraid. We should be taking these guys out like tomorrow. You guys, you have no idea. These guys, they have not. They have nothing for us. They have nothing for us. Because if they wanted, the level of backwardness that we have in this country, there are very quick things that they can do, which can be noticeable even without going anywhere. The population will appreciate, but they will not even try to do that. They will just come here and give us stories, hype emotions, so that people can regroup. Then they give us a sham election, predetermined election. Then they do their own back office things, back and chinia meza deals. Then one group wins, then the other group complains. Then we wait for another 5 years. No, we are not doing this time. This time we cannot. We do not have that patience. These guys are going. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I think we have exhausted the matter is so much, and I want to bring it to an end. I think, Lala, if you have a last response, let us bring the last response.
Yeah, I think I have to answer Douglas and to some extent Comey. Number one, what I did not say is that you cannot criticize a leader. You should and you must. That's what critical thinking informs us. We gotta do that, and if we don't, we are failing. And number two, leadership doesn't only come from the old people. It can come from any age. It is the person. It is their history. It's their wealth of understanding. It's their leadership skills that should matter, not those other things. So, and I think the analogy, Douglas, you mentioned, you talked of an abuser doing something good. and then you mentioned Raila at the same time. But think about this: if you are very honest, anyone who is honest, and look at Kenya, where we are at the moment in terms of begin to look at the space, the democratic space that we have achieved to this moment, and pick one person responsible for the growth of our democracy to the point where we are, I think you'd be intellectually dishonest if you put his name, Raila's name, out of there. So to equate him with the abusive father who does something good, that's not a very good analogy. Okay. Am I blindly supporting Raila because he's an old man? No. Attributing my support to the idea of democracy, the idea of good leadership, lack of no corruption, and so that we don't have to be blinded by the group think, but not pointing out that people may converge, but there are so many other interests which we have seen happening all the time. As I think Comey pointed out, that these people have got no ideas. It's because people come together, but we don't scrutinize what is behind those ideas, agendas that they have, and we don't look at what they bring, what they represent. And this is one of the area where young people can learn, because the agency has brought life and injected something into our politics that I think we can't let go. But if we are not careful, then we will come and criticizing people without really stepping back and saying, is this the truth? Okay, so let's look at the truth. Let us look at what is going on, and let us side with the side that articulates a clear agenda towards the goal that we are projecting ourselves to, which is really to have a country that is working for everyone, not just for few. And so, and this is a job that requires all of us from every part of the country, every area of our political or social life. Let everyone be part of this. And so those are the answers that I can give. And also, you mentioned about Salasia. I think I listened to Mijungu. I think the Mijungu who come, I think, from the same area. I think he had a very good answers for Salasia. I mentioned here that I think Salasia has got some good skills, leadership. Is able to calm people down with his smiles and his comedian type of, and behind it is a very smart young man. But I pointed out that the way he's taking things, if you are critical thinker, if you're looking at the way he's handling things, is very shameful. Okay, especially of late, what really and activities that he finds himself in. So I think Mijungu gives him a very good advice for him to save those skills and help the people of Mumias and Kenya, because he has those skills. But clearly, anyone can see that the young man, yes, you can call anyone and to order, okay, but be factual. Talk about truth, not just whipping emotions of people, of tribes and others in the name of lawyers and this and that. I mean, that's not for him. That's not a Gen Z message and language. So Douglas, I really think that he should go back to the real message that can be able to help us as a nation. And so that's my position. And I don't think I've deviated from that. I believe in leadership that come from both ends, whether it is older or younger, but they have to be clean and they are able to help us get this country where we ought to go. I think Comey mentioned that, that there's so much that we need in this country, which can be done, but we are stuck with the Gashaguas and others, which is really sad. Thank you. Back to you, Ashadizo.
Okay, thank you for that. I think we have got to the point. The time is so much spending, but I have just one question before we begin wrapping up. I don't want to listen to you. What do you feel about Kome? Let us watch this and then you give me your response. Please be attentive and watch out clearly.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm just talking to generally everyone. I want you to watch out this because we have speak about leader. We have speak about leader so much, Cindy. I want to check out. Do you feel like Nani is capable of getting the leadership? So I want to check out this video clearly, and then you will give me your response towards that.
Franklin Wala, Citizen TV.
At the same time, former Chief Justice David Maraga has declared his readiness to lead the country, citing his exemplary track record at the helm of the judiciary. Speaking after a public lecture in Migori County, Maraga emphasized the urgent need to end rampant corruption, which he called the biggest obstacle to national development. And as Laura Otieno now reports, the former CJ rallied the youth movement, urging them to champion good governance and accountability.
After delivering a thought-provoking lecture to students at Rongo University in Migori on Thursday, former Chief Justice David Maraga addressed the growing speculation about his potential presidential bid. With a measured yet confident tone, Maraga affirmed that he possesses the experience and integrity needed to lead the nation. Drawing from his tenure at the helm of the judiciary, he spoke with conviction about his track record, exuding confidence in his ability to steer the country towards a just and accountable future.
It is because of that confidence that one can make a decision whether or not he can serve. I have served before in government. I was head of one arm of government. There is no magic about being a head of another arm of government.
Taking a direct swipe at President William Ruto, former Chief Justice David Maraga condemned what he termed as budgeted corruption, accusing the government of diverting crucial resources meant for national development. He decried the misallocation of funds, which he said has crippled key projects, including the controversial Social Health Authority, which has left both Kenyans and healthcare workers struggling under its weight.
So I can't advise him, but what is going on in the country, my view would be, it would be good if he listened to the public to know what they are complaining about, what they are crying over.
In what appeared to be a pitch for the youth vote, Maraga urged young people to embrace their civic duty and become champions of good governance. He emphasized that their voices and choices hold the power to shape the country's future, calling on them to demand accountability and leadership that truly serves the people.
I challenge each one of you to be champions of justice and accountability. Stand fearless against a stubborn system that lures young minds into service for political cartels.
However, the former CJ noted that he is still in consultations and will announce his final decision on his political ambition at the appropriate time. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
Still related to matters of election, candidates eyeing commissioner positions in the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission were tested over their ability to maintain integrity and
That's what's going on. Let me begin from Lala.
Sadizo, to hear that Maraga is considering running for the presidency is heartwarming. Those are the characters that we should be debating or deciding on which side to fight, or to support. If he decides to be in the ring, he will be part of my top people to consider, okay? And if he runs, I may come to Kenya to campaign for him. I'm looking for leaders with such kind of a character, to characters that, to lead us. So I got no problem, but I would consider him with others of the same caliber. Yeah, so I'm very happy to hear him even thinking. One of the people, let him go in there. Right now, I'm going to support him. I don't know, but I will consider his candidacy. I would encourage him to run, because we need such men and women of integrity with experience to run our nation. So I'm happy to hear him considering running for the presidency.
Let me listen to Kwame. What's your opinion about that?
Thank you very much again. Yeah, as Lala said, I also think that a fresh breath of new air of fresh air is needed. I think Maraga is within his rights as a Kenyan to declare for any position that he wants, just like any other Kenyan. But also, I have a few questions for him. What are his objectives? Why is he vague? I find him becoming vague. For someone who wants to become the CEO of Kenya, he needs to be more specific with what he wants to do. Is he going?
Yes.
Yes.
When people consider running for an office, that's testing of water. So he puts his feet a little bit to have a feel, let people talk, and then he'll come up with. If he just come with this so-called agenda, that's not the best way to do it. You test the water, and then now you start showing exactly what you want. So I think it's just a strategy, and I see your point. It's a good point. So,
okay. I also see the strategy. Also, I see how it can be a strategy, but also I think the times we don't have that much time of someone to take such kind of a strategy. We need this syllabus is running, and we need to run with it. I mean, we might mistake him to be for a distraction. We might mistake him for a deflection to shift our attention, because since 25th June we are in revolutionary mode. So this guy maybe is we do not want to think of him like as distraction, or someone who has been paid or used or whatever he is doing to distract us from the goal. So we need him to become very specific very quickly, because we also want to hear what he has to say about the message.
Okay.
I say the message is, or are we putting the cart? Is he putting the cart before the horse? This guy told us about the fidelity to the law and the fear of God. That speech that he gave there, we need him to become more specific very quickly. We need to, because he said fidelity to the law and the fear of God. That is how a country should be run. But now, Mr. Maraga, give us the specifics, because also the fear of God, what he said, is the beginning of wisdom. He needs to engage us very quickly. He has been a senior judge, of course. In his position, he has seen what has been happening in Kenya. He has a clue. So we do not. He's not a green. He quite understands the problems that are in this country by virtue of the positions he has held, and also being the Chief Justice. So we need to hear him talking about things like the debt. We want to hear what is the real debt, what is the actual debt, what are we paying for this debt. We want him to tell us whether he will give us that list on day one. We want to know how the resources are being distributed, all the resources, including land, because we want to know if he's a merchant of poverty or a merchant of empowerment. We want to know if he wants Kenyans to be, if he's the guy who is afraid of Kenyans becoming empowered because he's afraid for his position. We want to know if he's someone who is a proud Kenyan, patriotic Kenyan, who wants Kenyans to shine and things to be done correctly, resources to be distributed properly, explain to us what is happening, transparency, giving us those stories of corruption to end. We have had those stories for years on end. We just want this guy to give us specifics because now we do not have time. We just want to, we are just, the list is long. So please, atupatie list tukisonga. Thank you very much.
Asante Ndukome. If I was Maraga's advisor, I wouldn't do what you're telling him to do, because that is almost suicidal. A lot of time when you, of course, that's where he's supposed to go. But you see, you want to take polls, you want to test the water, people are thinking, then we want to have your people around you so that becomes in the middle, not not in the beginning, because in the beginning people don't even know what's really going on. And of course, you know, if you look at the manifestos and of all these political parties, they're really great in purpose. You know, you can read them and you wonder if actually those manifestos and whatever we have were the one being used, we could be a first world country. But people want to tell us things just for, you know, to lie, to cheat us. Okay, so to me, I think what Maraga is doing is coming from his strength, which is fidelity to the law, coming from the fact that he has stood a test, you know, and faced a place where no one has ever done. So he's beginning slowly from that perspective so that people can talk about that strength, and then now he can move to other areas. So as a political advisor, I would, I think what he done is actually good. He went to a university outside of his own home to tell Kenyans what it's all about. That is a first step. And first step, I don't think he did wrong at all, but he needs also to be reminded of what you're talking about, that these things need to come rapidly. But from that perspective, I think let him wait a little bit. Thank you.
Okay, Lala, let me listen to Douglas.
Okay. Been listening to both Lala and Kome, and you know, on this one I you know, extensively agree with Lala. I think Kome, I think you should don't be too radical to the point where you let you know, reality overtake you. You know, Maraga is not a politician. He was a judge. Judges are known to be laid-back individuals, sit behind the scenes, that kind of thing. So it never really wasn't interested in politics. It's young Kenyans who pushed him to run because they see the qualities of the kind of leader they would want. And you know, they've settled on this one. This the kind of person we believe will lead us to the kind of Kenya we want. So it was really a job courting him to accept to try get his feet into politics. So you know, he's just testing the waters. He's made a few public appearances here and there with the youth, and right now he's come out boldly to say that I actually might run. I think that is good enough. We just need to go with that, and we just need to rally behind him so that we give him that confidence that if he actually puts his name, puts himself into, you know, into the race, that Kenyans, and especially young Kenyans, are going to rally behind him, because the political elites who have been there, they wouldn't want someone like this to come and disrupt that system that they've existed on for decades. So he's going to face a lot of resistance from the established systems. But if Kenyans of goodwill, we Kenyans who want to move into a more into a better Kenya, rally behind him, then I believe that we can get him into the top job. So I think we just need to be patient, with him. Like Lala is saying, when it comes to politics, you just don't go out there and declare yourself, I'm going to run for president. You see, you saw Morara doing that, but and you saw what happened to him. He faced. People laughed at him. I saw a video of him declaring that I'm going to run for president in 2027. He was in Pastor Nganga's church. And Pastor Nganga laughed him off. I think sometime I'll look for that clip and play it. So when it comes to, even Omtata did the same thing. He created a team that is going to just move around, try to do some sort of research, see what are the prospects that if he ran, he would what kind of support is out there at his disposal. I think those are the kind of things that they are gradual. You saw even Raila doing this when he came from the AU laws. He moved around doing some consultations before he publicly declared that I'm joining hands with Ruto. So I think it's just a political thing. It's some sort of strategy. You have to let the conversation precede you, like it is right now. So it's declared, it's given some sort of hint, and now we are here saying, we are here talking about him, and the conversation is going to expand further and further. I think it's some sort of strategy, like Lala is saying, and I think it's a good one. For me, I'm just happy that he's finally accepted that, okay, you people want me to run, well and good. And another issue I saw Kome mention about is he should tell us what he thinks about debt and the economy and that kind of stuff. But, I've said time and again on this show, at this point in time, I think institutions, countries, companies, there are certain points in time where they need a very specific kind of leader to guide them through that phase. For instance, Kenya in 2002, where we were in an economic depression. So we needed a leader who will guide us out of that, out of that dark time, economically speaking. And we found that in Kibaki, and he did that exactly. I think at this point in time, what we need is a moral leader who will help us tackle this menace of corruption, who will help us, uphold constitutionalism and the rule of law and that kind of thing. What we need right now is a moral leader so that we may be able to set our society straight. And I think that leader, I see that leader in Maraga, and if we can fix our corruption and our moral values that we hold as a society, then I think some of these issues that we talk about, debt, inflation, whereby the figures that we are told we owe, we don't really owe. People who are really into finance tell us that we don't actually owe these numbers that we are told about. So if we just had someone who has very high standards of integrity, then we can be able to tackle this kind of thing. So I think at this point in time, we don't need someone who will come and tell us that, I'll build, I'll build what and what. I think we need someone who will help us tackle this field of corruption and just help transform Kenya into a decent country that we can be proud of. Yes, Shadiza.
I appreciate for that. I appreciate for that, and I hope we are moving on swiftly. I want to do one thing. I want all of us to do one thing, please. Get out your phone if you are having a phone. Just a minute, Lala. I want to do this, all of us, please. This is what I want to do. I want to get out of all our phones, everyone, and I want today we just take a moment to support Sound Conduct for everyone that is viewing, for everyone that is watching. I want to take this moment to support Sound Can't Talk. We are here. We want to make it to go ahead. We want to make it to move, and we want to take it to another level, because there are a lot of things that are working on the ground, a lot of things that we are pushing up to make them to come to the screen, to make us to have the comfortability of the show. So we take out all our phones. We support Sound Candidate by sending or supporting it by anything you have. So if you are having even $1,000, even $50, even $100, even any, and if one Kenya, any cash you have, I want to take this moment and send it to that till number or that phone number. The till number is 516275. For those who are in Kenya, we are using the till number is 516575. And for those who are in diaspora, we are using the mobile number. Please, the mobile number is +254 718 454 585, and the name is Bernard Makoha. Because even right now, the thing is that make me to end up the show early is the tokens. The tokens are running out, and that's why that's one of the things that will cause me to end up the show early. But if we can sort out that, we can even keep the show going on to the next at least an hour plus, and then it will be good. So if you want us to have the comfortability of the show, for those who even are watching, for those who are even on the panel, please, I want to do it. I want we take at least 2 minutes, and then we do that, and then we will continue from there. I want to see everyone. Please, let us do that. I want to just take a moment. Let us do that. If you're having $1,000, just do it. If you're having $100, if you're having $50, if you're having 1,000 Bob Kenya shillings, if you're having 2,000 Kenya shillings, just naye mbogi yako comrade, kama uko na kimia mbili kichweza kiruabe kimekaa tu mahali, tingiza waba, cheza nayo kitil namba hapo, tin comrade, na itakuwa fiti. For those who are in diaspora pia, cheza nayo, you can hear. For those who are in diaspora, we are using Bernard's number, and the name is Bernard Makoha. The number is on the screen as we are seeing right now. Wacha tucheze hiyo na hiyo itakuwa fiti. For those who are watching, I want to see you. I want to see your turn up before we continue with the show. Because I token inaenda. If the token goes, being remaining with darkness, sina net, sina inini, and then I can't be on the screen without the network, without the electricity, the studio will be shuttered down. So I want to see your turn up, please. Let us do it. Let us do it. Let us support Bernard, not leaving him inside the DJs as it is, because right now it's really struggling to build it up. Also, the other crew, they are really striving. Let us do it. Let us do it together. Let us do it together. Let us support it. Let us support it, and it will be good. Let us continue seeing the details on the screen, and it will be good. Lala, what were you saying?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
I think Campos, one of the
Lala, go on, we are getting you.
Lala, we've lost your audio.
I think Lala is doing some technical issues, but he will be right back. Okay, now we can hear you. Go
on. I wanted to comment on Campo, whatever his name is, Campos from Haiti. And he had mentioned that Kenyans should leave Haiti because they are not there for the people. And also I noticed that today the body of Kenya Benedict Kabiru, one of our young men, was found. The body was found in Haiti. And I think Haiti authorities identified Kenyan police killed by the gang as Benedict Kabiru. And so let's pray for the family of this young man, and let us do the right thing. So I don't have as much detail, but I think probably Kenyans will be told, but things are not very good. So to our friend who is in the background from Haiti, not all Kenyans are together in this, and we want the right thing to be done. We want the peace in Haiti, good governance in Haiti, and we want it done the right way. We are for it, for the peace. We are for good governance in Haiti, and many of us are just concerned the way it was done. That Kenyans were used a proxy, soldiers to fight on behalf of somebody else, which makes us look bad. But for the family that have lost their young man, their son, condolences to the family and our prayers to the troops there in Haiti. Thank you very much. Back to you, Douglas.
Thank you.
Sedizo, that is Sedizo. Sorry.
Thank you, Lala, for that submission, for that condolence. We still stand up to bring Kenya to on board. Okay, the people of Haiti, I know Haiti is not well now, but we are praying for them to be to come up, to have a good turn up. I want to go for another part for this, as we are also moving on swiftly, because natamani walipokucheza na M-Pesa, I still remind you tucheze nayo tu as we have put the details are still scrolling down the screen. Zitumie vizuri and God will bless you. Okay, I want we see this before as we are continuing up, so that we can have another talk as we are moving on swiftly. Okay, let us watch out this clearly and let us be attentive, please.
Mwaniaji wa kiti cha kamishna wa tume ya IEBC Abduba Molu Ido amesema kuwa hatarajii kuwa yeye na mkewe watateuliwa wote. Hii ni baada ya kuthibitisha kuwa mkewe Fatuma Mohamed pia ni miongoni mwa Wakenya 105 walioalikwa na jopo la uteuzi wa kamishna 6 wapya wa IEBC kwa mahojiano. Mwanahabari wetu David Maraga na taarifa hii.
You benefit from our prayer in the morning.
Safari ya kujaza mapengo 6 ya makamishna kwenye tume ya IEBC imeng'oa nanga rasmi leo, huku Abduba Molu Ido akiwa wa kwanza kupatana ana kwa ana na jopo lililopatiwa kibarua cha kuteua makamishna hao. Molu akifichua kuwa yeye na mkewe wanatafuta kazi moja.
Do you have any relationship with any of the shortlisted candidates?
Yes.
Who's that?
There is Dr. Rukia, who is listed as one of the applicants for the commission.
What is your relationship?
She's my spouse.
Thank you.
Kulingana na ratiba iliyotolewa awali, Fatuma Mohamed atafika mbele ya jopo hili Ijumaa ijayo, na ikiwa atahojiwa, maswali tayari yameibuliwa kuhusu ikiwa huenda mume na mkewe wakajipata kwenye tume moja hatimaye.
What would you tell this committee if by chance it was to find that both you and your wife make it?
I don't expect that both of us, even if she wasn't my spouse, that both of us would be considered from one county, one constituency. We come from the same village.
And one family.
Mwaniaji mchanga zaidi kufikia sasa aliyehojiwa ni Abdi Hakim Adan Abdi mwenye umri wa miaka 36 na aliye na ulemavu wa kutembea. Licha umri wake mdogo, jopo hili lilimpiga msasa vilivyo.
If I heard you right, you said you joined university in the year 2010.
Yes.
And this is the same year that you worked as a consultant.
Yes.
For the Ministry of Devolution.
You know, I was not given an individual consultancy. Because I did not have the capacity to take an individual consultancy. But I have done the civic education relating to the referendum under the organization. Okay. So I was tasked with that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You also...
Probably a question of semantics.
Waniaji wengine waliofika mbele ya jopo la uteuzi leo ni Abdi Hafid Abdullahi Yaro, Abdinur Maalim Hussein, Abraham Kipruto Langat na Adhan Nuri Berhe. Wawaniaji wengine 6 watafika mbele ya jopo hili Ijumaa. David Muthoka, NTV, Nairobi.
This what's happening in the board of IEBC, because the election, the selection is going on and the interview is still going on. we had to make up the IEBC. I want to listen from you. What's your opinion about that, and what's your opinion about the creation of the IEBC, the new forum? Or do you think that they are testing or the progress is going on well? And what's your opinion all about that? Let today begin with Douglas.
Okay, we just hope that they're going to get us the best people for the job, and we're just grateful that we're finally creating. We are finally reconstituting the commission, and Kome will tell you for free that he's happy he can finally impeach his MP and the president, as radical as he may be. But that's the importance of having an electoral commission. We need that electoral commission. And going forward, I know probably people don't see the kind of Kenya that we were fighting for and we are fighting for. But moving forward, I think the Constitution gives us the mandate in a situation like this where we have representatives in Parliament who don't really hold the voices of the people at heart. I think we need to get to a point where we can impeach them, and the Constitution gives us that power. And this electoral commission is just a start, and we've agitated for it, and finally it's here. We're just hoping that they're going to give us the best commissioners. So they started with the chairperson. The chairperson interviews began on Monday through Wednesday. Then today, actually, it's Friday. Thursday, we began the other commissioners. In total, there are 6, but we have 105 of them. So that is going to run from yesterday, which is March 27, all through to April, around 14th. Not sure really about the date, but the interviews will be running all along. Then I think that's when they'll break for a while. Then they'll tell us who they picked. But we are going to be scrutinizing right now. Kenyans are attuned to what is happening in governance cycles, and we are going to be scrutinizing them. The final list they give us that these are the commissioners we picked, we are really going to be digging into who they are, what they've done, why. We are going to be asking a lot of questions. And this is not like the past where they will just cook up stuff. We are going to be really scrutinizing them. So they are not just going to push some clowns or puppets down our throats. So we'll just cook elections, rig elections, then the same cycle repeats itself. So just hope that they're really doing their best job at this. Chadi.
Okay, thank you, Douglas. Let me listen to Kome. Kome, what's about that?
First of all, I did not get a chance to respond to the other question because it brought some few points. So the reason why we would like a situation where emeritus will not be really rushed to do and take his time and do, but I really believe we do not have time for that, because the thing that we lack is something called trust deficit. We have been played so many times, and we really want to be sure this time, because we have been played. Kenya it has just been all about games since there is a story. Actually, it's not a story. There's a true story about someone who went to Nakuru in 1959, if I'm not wrong, and sat with some settlers, and he had to make some concessions so that they agree for him to become president. So when I mean that we have a trust deficit, this playing we have been played for. Forgive us for being too careful. We need to be careful. These cats are not very easy people to deal with. And also about the issue I meant about empowerment, we really need to know if this guy who wants to become the president still wants to benefit from this system of not empowering the populace and making the people dependent on handouts, because empowerment is everything. If an empowered population tends to cure the trust deficit. And that is why you find even in America, when they were making their constitution, the Second Amendment was all about trust deficit. They did not trust one another. So they sat and they said, you keep your gun, I'll keep my gun. So that no day you will come and turn against me. Because they could not reach a point where they delegated all their trust to one person. They decided we are going to retain some level of kuheshimiana. So the government has military and whatever, but the population has more guns than the military. So they respect one another, and that is the trust deficit that we have here, because these guys just players and they leave. So about the shortlisting, I don't even look at it. I am totally uninterested, because I know it has a predetermined outcome. So I really, that is not something it's not competitive. First of all, it's not something that it is a very low vibration kind of thing. I don't think I can delegate any time to look at it. If the first two, the front runners, are anything to go by, that is let them finish their job. Give us the team. We'll work with whatever is there. Ruto himself said in one point, hata akieka ndugu yake. So let them bring whoever they are going to bring, because we need to move on. Even the constitution of the panel. I don't think in the picture of the June 25 movement that is the picture that we wanted this thing. Looking in those lenses, this thing needs to be very competitive. It needs to be very cutthroat. It should not be this formality. This is an insult on us, that this thing we are just being. Then why are they even giving us in news? They just do it back door to give us the names. We'll go. But now these are acting here and trying to pretend like they are doing something very important. We don't have time for that. So that is very, 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 very saddening, and I don't even want to talk about it. But whoever they bring will bring. Someone is asked a question, and he answers and tells the interviewer, those are semantics. This is an interviewee telling an interviewer that whatever these guys are very unserious. He's telling the interviewer, those are semantics. Don't ask me that kind of question. These guys let them just do what they are going to do back office. They give us the names. We'll continue. As Douglas has said, some of us are just waiting for these names so that we can now try and test some waters, because also as we are waiting for Meritas to kujipanga, even as we need to be doing our own testing of systems, trying to pitch one person here, trying to recall one person here. We need to start using this 2010 thing as early as possible. So let them give us the names, and as we just continue sharpening our skills. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to be summing up. We will begin from Douglas to give the closing remarks as we are moving on, and then Lala will be the last one. I'll see Lala pray for us, because my tokens are. So Douglas.
Mhm. Well, you're talking sir. Well, okay. I'm up to here. I think I don't have much else to add apart from campaign for emeritus. So those of you who have been here have been asking us. So you Gen Zs, where is your leader? Now our leader is Chief Justice Emeritus David Maraga. So that is our leader. So if you have any questions, ask him. Okay, from now on. And I just continue to call on you that I think this is the best person for the job. This is the best candidate we've had in a long time. Okay, I'm not saying that we've not had very sober leaders of integrity. I think we've had someone like Mohisa Kitui, who came and told us that he wants to run for office, and but people didn't take his bid seriously. I think it was post, pre the revolution, and the establishment. If you're not part of that establishment, then chances of you ever making it to the top job, they were quite lean. But I think now we are living in a different political quote unquote dispensation, and the conversation is totally different. So the conversation next year, going into the campaign season, then the election, is not going to be around tribes. Okay, it's going to be so with the older generations, partly, but the youth. We make 70% of Kenya. Africa is generally a young continent, and 70% of Kenya is people aged somewhere around 35 and below. And if we take 40, then that number is even bigger. And even in the older generations, we have people who are progressive, who are thinking progressively, and they can see sense in picking a leader of that caliber. So I think we just the point is we just continue to agitate, do see civic education out there, and mobilize. So young people, our campaigns, we don't even need that much money to do our campaigns. Ours ni online. Ni just spreading the word, and campaigns that we do them through memes, and that's what we do. We just spend all our times on our smartphones, and we pull out information really fast, and the information passes around really fast. But if you're a young person on this show and you're watching me right now, chukua voters ID kama una voters ID. I mean, chukua national ID. If you don't have a national ID, if you just come out of high school, or you are 19 or something, register for an ID. If you already have an ID and you don't have a voter's card, in the past, young people didn't care much about politics, but you people have seen how politics affect your lives. Politics literally affects every facet of your life. So we cannot afford to sit on the sidelines and say we are apolitical like we used to. Right now, we need to involve ourselves in the conversation. So register get yourself on that voter registration as soon as I don't know if it's running. Personally, I'm on the IEBC voter registration. I did that in 2017, although I've never really voted. Should get serious a little bit, but register, mobilize. Come 2027, 10 million strong. We get the right person into office, not just the president alone. We need to change the entire. We need to get as many, forward-thinking leaders of integrity into office as much as possible, into the National Assembly, into Senate, into the county assemblies, governorship, all these offices. We need to get people, or the kind of leaders we've always been yearning for. Right now, we are undertaking, and the IEBC reconstitution is ongoing. We're just waiting for that, and as soon as we have the commission and everything is set, then we begin mobilizing. Our candidate has declared his bid. We just need to rally behind him. No more saying that we are neither here nor there. I don't know if he's going to form a political party, but I hear what Kome was trying to say. We need more agility from him. The Kenyan political scene is not, is not like, like the West. You need to unahitaji how they say Shadizo, kuonyesha makucha kiasi. So we need him to be a little bit more aggressive. We need a little bit more agility from him. We need him to assert himself if he's going to to really be taken seriously in the political conversation going forward into the next general election. With that, thanks for being here, everybody who was here. Lala and Kome, they're going to speak after me, but thanks for being here. All those of you who are in the comment section, everybody, the silent viewers, we don't take you for granted. And yes, let's keep the conversations going. And as usual, we are all proud to be Kenyans, and we are not divided. Don't listen to that talk of that here Gachagua and all those people keep telling you that unity and that kind of stuff. We are not divided. It's them who divide us. Thanks, Shadizo. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Douglas. Let me listen to Kome.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I totally agree with Douglas that that is a very viable candidate. But I think also there are some things that he should not overlook. Even as he listens to views, probably he's going to hear this view from me and take it into consideration. First of all, if he's able to answer the questions in the messaging part, he's able to give us a good message and dedicate himself to answering those 60 questions, then we are good to go. But if he's not up to that, then we will still go back to where we are. Number two, I think he needs to consider also coming up with a political party. And this thing, I know it is the elephant in the room. What is the importance of a political party? The importance of a political party is, if we do not want to have an independent president, if he goes in as an independent with no party, the thing that happened in Meru will look like child's play, because the guy who will have the MPs in the pocket will be the one calling the shots while he is the president. So I think he needs to come up with a political party very soon, if he's going to run. Put it in place, have candidates. Don't be afraid about funding. I think this is a good opportunity to test for the first time a publicly funded presidential candidate, funded by the public because they want him. So I think the question of money does not arise. If he's able to answer our questions, he will have all the money he needs to beat these people. For the first time, the only president who will have run with clean money. So there are a number of questions that need to be answered for us to be convinced. He needs to tell us about equity, because telling us about unity, that story is very tired. We no longer listen to this warmongering and fear mongering things about unity and whatever. We want you to tell us about equity. We want a president who is going to stop this nonsense of 15 to 35% to counties. We want, then what is this national government remaining with 65%? What are they doing with it? We need someone to give this 65% to counties or increase it from 35%. Then demand accountability. If you mess with this money that I'm giving you, you're going to be hanged, or you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. But this thing of the executive being afraid of distributing these resources equally is because they are addicted to the power that comes with that resources that they are refusing to release. Because why can't they just release the money that is needed? Equitable, evidence-based allocation on according to the needs that are prioritized by that county. Give them the money they use. Why are you denying them the money? Right now, counties. Today I was speaking to one MCA somewhere, and I was asking him, because I run a business, and I was asking him what is the state of working with county, bring business county. He told me counties, if you want to close, and he's an MC, just work with counties. Those things are dangerous. You will lose your money. Then he tells me money is never distributed in time. When it comes, it's never enough. There are so many things, and the problem begins with the executive refusing to give the right amount of money. So what is he going to tell us about equality? And don't worry about funding. We will test the waters of public financed campaigns in the next elections. So here is Msumbwe. Just tell us what we need to hear, and get a team. Do fair nominations. Let the best person go for it. Whoever the people decide. Don't dish out tickets to your friends. Then take that parliament guns blazing. Then you nyorosha this thing, because if you don't have an army in parliament, you will be blackmailed. So that is, as a matter of urgency, if he decides to run, he tells us what he wants to do, and he does a political party, or gets it to a party and becomes the front runner, and get good people who are going to win the election, because the people want them to be his army in parliament. That is the only way he can move any agenda in this country. But if you don't have those two, first of all, we will not listen to you. So you have no chance even if you make a party. So you first get your thought process right. Tell us what you're going to do, and give us good messages. Then form a party as quickly as possible. Because if he goes in as an independent, and maybe he might win, who knows? If he goes in as independent, we are going to waste another 5 years. So let's get these things right now, very, very fast. And let's not even talk about the issue of funding. Let's just deal with those two issues, and we are good to go. And these guys, the same way they do not see anything coming, even this one, they will not see it coming, because these people, they have so much contempt for us. They think we are joking. But anyway, so I think he can make a good candidate, and yeah. So let him do that. Let him assure us of equity. Let him assure us of equitable distribution of the resources, fair distribution of resources. This whole story of taxation, let him tell us what he wants to do about taxation. We need to hear him when he decides to. And we need him when in 2002, when Ngilu, Wamalo, and Kibaki came out. They came out guns blazing. They did not hide anything. They told us this is what we are going to do when they get into power. And they really tried to do some things, but still we were really too low, so we don't really know whether that was the best that they could have done. As I say, even now we are at least 100 years older, young, backward. Sorry. So we need someone who is going to. We have enough resources. We need someone to give these people this money. Na waambie hii pesa ndio itawakula. And we here in the streets will be cheering and reporting the person to be eaten by that money before he eats it. You eat, it eats you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that contribution. Let me listen to Lala as Lala will give the conclusion, then pray for us as we conclude.
Thank you, Shadizo. Thank you, Kwame. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you all in the background. There's a story that I like to end with. And it's a story of two young Germans, they're Moravians in the 1700s. They really wanted to preach the gospel in the Caribbean, in St. Thomas and Croix, those islands. But they could not, because only people allowed there were slaves only. And many of the slaves were black. But because they were refused to go and preach, because to them, their job was to go and preach, what they did is that they decided to sell themselves as slaves. It was very hard for them to be accepted because they were white. But finally, they were able to go as slaves. But their mission was to preach the gospel because they were convicted that's what was needed in that island, that God had called them to that island. So it was not hard for them to sell themselves. I'm saying that to say this, that Kenyans seems to be trapped. We seems to be in some kind of a slave trap. We are enslaved. First of all, by the colonial mentality that glorifies either foreigners or white people or other people, to the point where we don't trust ourselves. And that has been the biggest obstacle, part of the mental slavery that has kept us from realizing our dream. The second one has been our own leaders have capitalized on staying in power. And so they go in and preach those divisions, use the playbook from colonial group to lord it over us. So we have, all of us as Kenyans, a big chunk of us are clearly in bondage. Psychologically, we are in bondage. And that bondage requires some brave young men and women like these two young Germans to step in. And it's not an easy fight. But you see, with all of us educating, I'm happy you point so how old people, especially Douglas, and of course, I don't like it, but you know what? There's a lot of truth in the fact that we have not taken our role seriously to be able to stand against some of these captors of our countries and our democracy and our culture. So we need all the voices that will be willing to do what the two young Germans did and say to themselves, my role will be to educate, whether chukua kura, do what it takes to let others know that this thing is doable. The capacity to be able to know we can do it, because that's where the colonialists messed us up. They made us feel like government is, or development is not akin, is something foreign, okay? So we are waiting for somebody to do it for us. World Bank and all these other places, we are waiting. And I don't know how much of that toxic message will be passed on to the young people, because it's nice to have a gadget called a phone and look at it and all that, but then be deluded that thinking that is you have the answers there in your phone. Though it is a great tool, but at the end of the day, you still have to volunteer yourself and stand for something. Maybe one of the things we might do is to say no in our neighborhood to policemen standing there collecting money, politicians coming to our village and telling us this and this and that. Maybe if we start there, in other words, the rubber meets the road, where our voices can be heard. And I'm saying that because last time I was in Kenya, the police stopped me somewhere, and my driver was trying to negotiate with them. And you know what? I was so angry. I walked in there and I threatened that policeman. Okay, and of course they let us go. But then we get used to such things to the point where we don't think about it. So we start thinking about Ruto must go, when actually Ruto and all this rot around us should go. And I think if we practice at the grassroots level, I think we get more power, become more powerful as young people, and be able to do mighty things and move mountains. Because it is easy to fall into what the young crusaders fell into. They were able to come together and decided to walk from Europe to free the Israel from the Muslims, the Muslim land. And they realized that they need to learn languages. They couldn't communicate among themselves. They were hungry. They looked planned for food. And so they needed a little bit more. And I'm saying that to say this, that yes, let's fight, but let's fight smart. Let us use the resources we have to empower ourselves. But at the end of it, it's that sacrifice that you make. You step out there and say no to stealing, no to thieves. None of this should not happen, should never happen, even within your family. And I think that would really help us. And all of us are in it together. Thank you all. And I think we'll say a word of prayer that God will guide us as we do this walk, that we can walk by faith, but also be brave enough to step out and do what we must do to win our country. So let's just give thanks. Father, we thank you because you're good. You're good to each one of us, Lord. The gift of life, the gift of family, the gift of fellowship one with each other, where we can bring our differences, Lord, and talk. And yet we realize there's so much that put us together, that we are part of each other, part of the nation called Kenya. Lord, may you help us to nurture the blessing that you've given us in this land. That, Father God, we shall not spoil it, but we shall make it. Lord, we pray against corrupt practices. Father, you'll expose them and give us the will and the power to step forward and say no to those people that are bringing us harm. Father, we ask your blessing upon Bernard and all of us in this panel and for our nation and the leadership. Father, may you help us to learn to know you better. And now, Lord, as we dismiss ourselves from this space, may you go with us and bless us and make your face to shine upon us and be gracious to us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. And all of us say amen.
Amen.
Amen. I appreciate for the prayers and appreciate for everyone and the contribution to everyone. And think we have come up with the conclusion of the day, but I still remind you, let us support Sound Candy Talk. It will be good and it will help us to keep this channel running. It will help us to keep us here, and it will help us the channel to be able to stay to do and to pull 1, 2, 3. So use the details and God will bless you. I don't have much to say except to appreciate for everyone that has come to the show and everyone has made this day to be as it is. So thank you for everyone. Thank you, team comment section. Today, I'm sorry I'm not give a round of applause for you, but I'll just say thank you for those around the comment section and I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't have much to say. Let us meet next time, the same place, the same hour, the same minute, the same time.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye